you all did an extraordinary job. So tonight we celebrate literature and poetry with our guest reader extraordinaire, Dr. Stephen Cunningham. Not only is he a surgeon at Johns Hopkins, but an award-winning poet and resident of Catonsville. His Dinosaur name poetry book inspired by his 4 children recently won the Moonbeam Award. So get ready for some dinosaur poetry fun and welcome Dr. Cunningham.
Much. It is really a pleasure to be here. Can everyone hear okay? So, while we're getting ready with the projector, I'd just like to ask a few questions of the audience, especially the audience who are sitting up here on the mats. Does anybody here have a favorite dinosaur? Mimi. Tyrannosaurus Rex. What's your favorite thing about Tyrannosaurus Rex? Everything, okay. Well, Tyrannosaurus Rex is also one of my favorites, and I think it's one of the poems that we'll read tonight. So all these poems have a certain common theme. They're all titled a certain name of a dinosaur. And as most of you know, especially probably most of those sitting up front, dinosaur names all mean something. And they usually mean something that describes something about the dinosaur. So each of these poems is about a dinosaur name, and it's sort of a play on the name of the dinosaur and what it means. So can anyone up front tell me who this is? Yes, sir, in the brown t-shirt. Stegosaurus. So Stegosaurus is a great name. And it means something, like all dinosaur names do. It means plated lizard. So when the scientists who first found these bones found them in the dirt somewhere in the world, they saw a bunch of plates. Those red things up on the dinosaurs' backs are the plates. And since they're so interesting in this dinosaur, they said, why don't we call this dinosaur plated lizard? So they did. But they didn't just call it plated lizard, they gave it a fancy scientific name, which is Stegosaurus, which just means plated lizard, because stego means plates, and saurus means lizard. So that's how Stegosaurus got his name. So this first poem is called Stegosaurus. It's a very short poem, and it goes like this. Stegosaurus, plated lizard, I know that you're an herbivore, and would not eat a child like me, since you prefer the forest floor and munching plants like broccoli. Does anybody here like broccoli? And can anybody here tell me what an herbivore is? Oh my goodness. Yes, young lady over here. It's a plant eater, that's right. Herb means plant and vor means eater. I don't know if there was broccoli in the time of the dinosaur, but I hope there was. Alright, so there are 2 dinosaurs here. I'm going to read a poem about the red one. Can anyone tell me anything that they notice about that red dinosaur and what he's doing? Yes, right up here in front. Yeah, he's stealing an egg, isn't he? He's got a little bag with the word egg on it. So he's stealing an egg and he's got a little robber's mask on him. The scientists who found this dinosaur's bones found him with some eggs in his belly next to a nest, like that nest up in the picture, and they said maybe he stole those eggs and ate them. Sometimes animals do things like that, don't they? So they said, why don't we call him Egg Thief? And they did. But they called him Oviraptor, which is just a fancy way of saying egg thief. So egg thief, how despicable of you to steal the young of others for your meal. Why couldn't you find something else to eat? Some other more defensible meat. The next time you feel a stealing, thieving urge arise, why don't you just pick on somebody who's more your size? That would be more fair, wouldn't it? That other dinosaur, by the way, is called Maiasaura, which means mother lizard. Maya for mother and Sora for lizard. And you can see she's doting over her baby eggs there, trying to protect them from that new raptor. Okay, so back in the age of dinosaurs, there were dinosaurs, but there were other ancient creatures that didn't walk on land. Some of them swam in water, and some of them flied in the sky. Does anyone know the name of that great big white monster? Yes, right up front. It looks just like a great white shark, doesn't it? In fact, it may actually be related. They called this one, because when they found his bones, they said, my goodness, what humongous teeth this dinosaur has, so why don't we call him Giant Tooth? And so they did. Megalodon is his name, which means giant tooth. Megalodon, your giant tooth was as big as my head. Your giant jaws, when wide open spread, were as big as my dad is tall. But with him by my side, I'm not afraid at all. Okay, two ancient creatures in this picture, one flying, one with a funny sort of greenish cap on his head and some knobby things around it, and then a third not so ancient creature kind of looking at him. That guy with the green stripes is my son's favorite dinosaur. It's called Pachycephalosaurus. There he is waving. And this is a big mouthful of a word, isn't it? Pachycephalosaurus. That means thick-headed lizard, because pachy means thick, cephala means head. And does anybody remember what saurus means? Everybody all at once. All right, Pachycephalosaurus. Your skull was 10 inches thick. That's pretty big, isn't it? Can anyone show me how big 10 inches is? Yeah, it's pretty big. That's a huge, huge skull. And that's just how thick the bone was. Your skull was 10 inches thick, but your brain was quite small. They say you were dumb as a brick, but that you could smash a stone wall. But I don't believe, no, not at all, that that's how you used your bony head trick. I think you used those knobs as a sort of a call to attract a good mate with whom you could stick in good times and in bad, through thin and through thick. Good job. So, I wrote this book, but somebody else did the pictures. A woman named Valeska, a very talented artist from here in Baltimore. And the next couple of slides I want to show you kind of give you an idea of how she started drawing them. Does anybody here like to draw? So do I. I'm not very good at it though. Let me show you a couple of the pictures. So this is how she got the idea for what parts of the picture were going to go together. And then she drew a little bit more to see how it would fit together. And after this she put in color to get it to look like that in the end. Alright, Mimi. Here's your T-Rex. Does anybody know what Tyrannosaurus Rex means? Anna. That's right. Not just Lizard King, but Tyrant Lizard King. They call him the Tyrant because a tyrant is like a big mean guy who rules over everybody else. Not really very nice. Tyrannosaurus Rex. Tyrant Lizard King. Tyrant Lizard King. It's no surprise that you no longer rule, and your royal name no longer do they sing, because eating your royal subjects wasn't very cool. Alright, this is going to be the last one. So here's one of those flying dinosaurs. This one has a very sort of common sense name. It's called pterosaur, which means winged lizards. And I put this at the end of the book because it's sort of a goodbye poem for the end of things. Pterosaur, winged lizard, fly to the skies. I'll meet you there after closing my eyes and saying to the ground and to the day my last sweet goodbyes. Thank you very, very much.